Today we're going into the kitchen and we're going to learn how to sous vide lemon chicken breast over pasta. This is a really easy, complete sous vide chicken dinner, and it's something that I think is really simple to throw together and prepare in advance. So the first thing to do is to get in the kitchen and season those chicken tenders. So you could use any sort of chicken breast. I like them cut into smaller tenders because I think they're easier to serve family style. And then some seasonings go on top like paprika, garlic, salt, and pepper. It's pretty simple. And then on go the lemon slices. Now, just to let you know, this really vacuum seals beautifully. I make sure that there's space in between, but those lemons are going to leave some indentations in the chicken, but your dish will be absolutely beautiful when it comes out of the sous vide cooker. So the sous vide chicken just goes ahead and cooks for about an hour in there. If you're cooking sous vide chicken from frozen, you want to make sure the sous vide chicken tender breasts are cooked for an extra hour or so. Once the sous vide cooking is completely done, you remove it from the sous vide bath and it's time to pat the chicken dry. So now is the time that you can go ahead and do your little happy dance in the kitchen if you're anything like me, because your sous vide chicken dinner is almost on its way. So go ahead and remove those sous vide chicken tenders from the vacuum sealed bag. Cut it open, take them out, put them on a paper towel, and then pat them dry. You want to make sure to do this step because they're going to finish in a cast iron skillet, and you want them to finish being completely dry on the outside. They're going to be nice and tender in the inside because they're cooked sous vide style, which means they didn't dry out whatsoever. So just go ahead and dry them on a paper towel, and then you can either cook them then, or if you're like me and you need to do some sous vide meal prep to make life a little bit easier. I have a toddler, so we do dinner in stages here. I do this during the day. I pat them dry and then I stick them in the refrigerator until it's time to cook them for dinner. That's just one way that I use sous vide for meal prep that makes it a little bit easier around here. So you're going to see that they're patted dry, and then I wrap them with saran wrap and stick them in the fridge until it's time to eat. But you could skip that step and you could go right into making the sous vide lemon chicken over pasta dinner. So to get this sous vide chicken piccata style dish going, it's time to add the pasta to a large boiling pot of water, and then while that's cooking, you can prepare the sous vide chicken. So this final stage of just cooking the sous vide lemon chicken is going to take just about 5 to 10 minutes in a cast iron skillet. You want to give them another pat dry if they were stored in the fridge like mine were. You know, I like to go overboard here, but the drier they are on the outside, the better they're going to heat up when they hit that really hot cast iron pan. So heat the cast iron pan to medium high and then add some olive oil to the pan. Once that is all nice and shiny and hot, it's time to add the sous vide chicken. And I accidentally put them in right with the lemon. You're going to see that it looks a little bit funny because the lemon shape is in the chicken. It just looks that way right now, but I should have actually removed the lemon slices, and that way the lemon wouldn't burn, but whatever. I do like to throw the lemon in there for at least a couple minutes because I like that look of the charred lemon, and I think it kind of adds to the sauce and the flavors. So anyways, into the pan the lemon chicken goes, and you just sear each side for about 5 to 10 minutes tops. Well, it's really about 10 minutes total. It's about 5 minutes on each side. You don't really have to add any extra seasonings at this stage, but you can add a half tablespoon of butter or a full tablespoon of butter. You can add that in so it'll just cook really nicely in that olive oil. Look how steamy it's getting. It's nice and hot in the kitchen, and it is almost time for dinner. So let's see. After it's done cooking for a little bit, it's time to turn it over when the chicken is starting to turn brown. Look how delicious this looks. So like I said, I had put down the lemon slices, and actually sometimes I get so busy recording when I'm doing that the recipe gets a little distorted here. So I should have actually removed the slices of lemon because they're kind of burning on the underside of this chicken, but doesn't that chicken look amazing? Yum, it's so good. So I would just remove the lemon slices, maybe add them the last minute or two in the pan, but look how beautifully golden brown all of the sous vide chicken tenders are. They're really gonna be delicious. And next I'm gonna show you how I make the pasta sauce and put the plate together so it's ready for a family style Italian Sunday night dinner. Don't forget to subscribe to the sipbitego channel on YouTube to check out more of my sous vide recipes and print out the instructions for all your favorite sous vide recipes at sipbitego.com. This is a recent video that I did for sous videing a whole chicken with oranges, and it is so delicious. I can't wait for you to check it out. So let's get to finishing this meal. When the sous vide chicken tenders are done in the cast iron skillet, you can let them cool on a plate on the side. I always keep the lemon because I think it's really delicious to have that grilled lemon to serve with this lemon chicken sous vide pasta dish. And I kind of have an obsession with my kitchen herb garden. That's why you see me adding some parsley. You can also add basil or any other fresh herbs that you want. But now it's time to make that really simple pasta sauce for sous vide chicken lemon dish like this one. You could also use an Alfredo sauce, but today I'm going to show you just how to make a really simple butter-based pasta sauce for the sous vide lemon chicken. So I just throw some in the same exact pot that the pasta was in, I throw some butter and I let that come to a sizzle. And then it's time to add about half of a shallot that's thinly diced. I really love shallots, but you could also use some onion, or you could even use some sliced red pepper if that's what you have on hand. So in goes the shallot, which has a really great flavor, and then it's time to stir that all together while it sautés down and caramelizes the shallot. So you could add a lot more shallot if you wanted, but I feel like this is a really flavorful dish, and this is what I had on hand. And so once the shallot has completely turned translucent, it's time to add about a teaspoon of crushed garlic or diced garlic. And you don't want to add that too early because the garlic will burn. So make sure once the garlic gets in there that you continue stirring it together. If needed, you could add a little bit more butter at this part, but there's still some butter in the dish, so I didn't feel it was necessary at this time. So after about a minute, it's time to add a teaspoon of olive oil to help the vegetables in there caramelize a little bit more. And then one of my favorite ingredients that kind of turns this into like a sous vide chicken piccata dish is to use capers. So I love the saltiness of the capers, and fried capers are so good that I love to have them sizzling in there with the shallots, the garlic. Oh, those capers just add so much. And when it comes all together with the lemons at the end in the final pasta dish, it all is like just a perfect Sunday night meal for me. So here it's just cooking all down, and I had already strained the pasta. For this recipe, I used spaghetti. You could also use obviously angel hair or linguine, anything that you like. But I think a really classic spaghetti dish is nice with this chicken piccata style pasta. So once this is all cooked down, it's time to add the pasta back in. But you can throw in a couple more tablespoons of butter just to get it all nice and buttery on all of the pasta because there is quite a bit of pasta. So once you know that the pasta is glistening, that means that you've added enough butter, and you can throw some herbs on top, and then it's time to do the final plating with the sous vide lemon chicken. And so I like to add the pasta to the outside. You could also just plate it in a big bowl with the pasta and then add the chicken on top. I really didn't have any method to my madness here. I was just really hungry, had a toddler that was hungry, had a husband that was hungry, and I was just like, it's time to get dinner on the table. So just throw all that pasta on a plate, put that beautiful sous vide chicken lemon concoction on top, and serve it so everyone can thoroughly enjoy it. Another thing that would be really great are these sous vide asparagus, which you can find at sipbitego.com. Well, I hope you're inspired to make this sous vide chicken breast dinner. It's an inspired dish by the Home Chef Sous Vide Cookbook, which is my cookbook that came out earlier this year. And then before you go, I just want to show you one other thing that I've been cooking lately in my kitchen. This sauce is so delicious on top of these sous vide pork chops, bone-in style. It's a jalapeno ranch dressing, and I'm going to teach you how to make it in this latest tutorial at sipbitego.com and on the sipbitego YouTube channel. It's a really easy one to make for a crowd or just a really simple weeknight dinner. Check out the latest video. Well, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful and delicious day, and here are a couple other videos that I think you'll love. Cheers!